So Beto, how are you, man?
Fine, fine, fine. Very good, David. How are you? How are you
Fine.
feeling?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. So I hope getting well very soon.
Yeah, well, great. We have another interview today. Whoa, the sun just went away. Okay, doesn't matter. Uh, she is a photographer with a very interesting point of view of in my opinion of moody light and like a street point of view,
Yeah,
very unique.
yeah,
And she's from Germany, I think.
yeah. Actually, yeah,
And well, most of her videos are from Germany. So why don't you introduce her?
yeah. Of course.
So
Well, we have this episode with Karin Majoka. I hope to say the name great. So, how
Yes,
are
you
you,
did.
Karin? Oh, amazing! I did it. I did it.
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for having me. And I'm kind of relieved that because I saw that in some episodes you did the introduction thing in Spanish. So I was like, oh man, I would probably not understand a single word, but you did it in English. So
Yeah,
I understood everything. Yeah. So guys, thanks for having me. I'm very, very happy to be here and interested to see what we are going to talk about, getting to know you.
amazing, Karen. Thank you. Well,
perfect.
in this new season of interviews, we'll doing all the intros on English.
Mhm.
If the guest has the is an English speaker, so
I see.
that's the
Okay.
reason. That's the reason. But that's great. Thank you to be here with us. So Beto, let's start with the interview, right?
Yeah, Karin. Again, thank you for your time and for being with us and let us know you a little bit better. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you? Who is Karin? What was the reason? Because the reason why you're in photography,
Yeah.
why film photography. So tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, where shall I start?
Tough
Yeah,
question.
well, yeah, I think it's always like hard right from the start because those questions are like not as easy to answer. But yeah, I'm Karin and I'm yeah photographer from Germany, and yeah, how I got into photography and most like specifically into analog photography, I think is not such an easy question to answer because I have always been drawn to like creative content. I've always been drawn to creating things and kind of expressing myself creatively. But I was never like the person who picked up a camera and knew right from the start that this is it. But for me, it was like a bit more difficult to kind of find my way. And initially, I started in painting and I did a lot of drawing. I went to an
Mm.
art school and I always wanted to become a painter and just like accidentally stumbled upon photography because for my paintings, I needed like referencing pictures or just like some sort of visual elements to help me kind of plan ahead my paintings. And it was kind of hard to find the images that I was looking for, like referencing images from the internet. So at one point, I just decided, well, maybe I should just take them myself because it would be
Yeah.
easier to kind of get the right compositions, the right poses and stuff like that. So this is kind of what I how I started to get into photography, but it like never clicked. It was not like, oh yeah, this is the thing, that's kind of really fascinating me, but it was always just a tool to help me kind of elaborate on my painting. And just like years later, I um, fiddled around with the camera from time to time. Then I put it away. Then I didn't like do anything. Then I put it kind of was drawn to it more again, and just it like kind of slowly started to really hook me and really really draw me in. And a couple of years later, yeah, I started with analog photography, and this is when it really hit me, I would say.
Amazing. So you start with analog photography and your YouTube channel in at the same time, or it was like first taking photos and then I with this idea to have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, it was separate actually. I think I started with analog photography around 2017, because I was living abroad. I was living in Scandinavia, and
Okay.
of course, on a travels or like on a journey where you live in a different country, I really wanted to take some photos, wanted to take some memories. And in that course, I also joined like a photography club that was local, to meet like other people, maybe get to know some information about the good spots where I could shoot. And when I went there, I figured that it's actually an analog photography club that I didn't know about. I was like the
Oh,
only person coming there with a digital camera. And it kind of felt super weird because everybody was shooting film. And then I was like, well, I can also just try it. If everybody's doing it and they have like the equipment, they have the darkroom, then it can't be that hard. And I picked up an analog camera. Actually, like the next day from the meeting, I went to like a thrift store, bought an analog camera, and from then on I never like picked up my digital camera ever again, like properly. And the idea to start a YouTube channel, I think, happened many years later. I started it in 2019, I think.
okay.
Like right at the beginning when the pandemic hit, I was kind of
Oh, sure.
desperate to have something to do, and I didn't really know what to do because so much was under lockdown. So I decided that
Yeah.
one thing I could do from home was to record videos and kind of see where this is going. And this kind of happened a couple of years later.
That was a very pleasing surprise, that club being about analog photography and having everything around. That was you were very lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, this was like such a funny coincidence, because before I went abroad, I bought a new camera. I bought a Sony A7 II, which was like rather
Okay.
new at the time. And I
Oh,
kind of got into like the whole digital market. I was like learning about digital cameras, comparing things, and I felt like such a pro. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna go to this club and I'm gonna, show off a little bit with my fancy new camera, and I'm gonna meet people. Then I'm coming there, and then everybody's like piling around this guy who has a Nikon F3, and I was like, what's happening here? I just have a fancy camera, and what's happening? What are they
Yeah.
talking about? I thought I know everything. I thought I know the specs, and then I knew nothing because everybody was shooting film. And it was actually like, I think, one of the best coincidences that happened in my life, because if I wouldn't have, went to the club there, I wouldn't probably shoot it like analog today.
wow, that was very lucky. And you had like everybody knowing the analog technique and everything. So the support must have been very easy to learn quickly from that club.
Exactly. Also
That was
printing, they
great.
have a dark room and
Oh
everything.
wow.
And also you pay like a membership fee, which was honestly like super cheap, because
Okay.
it was like designed for students. And with that fee, you could use all the equipment. You could use like the darkroom paper,
Oh,
the
wow.
chemicals. And like thinking back, I think I used it like okay, I went there regularly, but now in hindsight, I'm thinking like, what did you do? Why didn't you just camp there? Why didn't you just spend 24 hours there? Because you will never have the luxury to have like this sort of cheap material, this also community around. And I just feel like, I should have used it even more. I should have been there every day, all day. Yeah, but it is how it is, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, we need to start a club like that here in
Yeah.
Mexico, maybe.
Actually, yeah. Sounds like a good idea. Actually.
It is a good idea. So, Karin, that was in Scandinavia, right?
Yes.
So, how is the film community in Germany? Is there any clubs? Is a big community? Is it a united community? How is it to shoot film in Germany?
I think we are relatively lucky in Germany. I think there's a good amount of people who shoot film, but also I think probably in Mexico it's the same. Like in Mexico City, there will probably be like a lot of photographers, while on the countryside or in smaller cities, maybe not so much. And here
Yeah.
it's the same. I live in a like like medium-sized city, I would say. It's not small, but it's also like not a big city. And here I think I'm one of the few film photographers, or at least I haven't really seen any other film photographers like
Wow.
walking around on the streets. But especially in big cities like Berlin, there's like really cool camera shops. You can get like chemicals in the
Oh yeah.
stores, which is kind of hard to find anywhere else. There's like regular meetings with film people. So I think like the big cities are really big hotspots in Germany where a lot of events happen as well. But I feel like even if I live in Germany, I still have to travel to the like cool locations to meet up with the film community, because still in the smaller cities and on the countryside, it feels a little bit isolated.
Yeah, actually, we talked with Max Heinrich from Analog
Yeah,
Insight,
yeah.
and he told us that something similar that you just said, but also that you have access to amazing brands like size, car size, I don't know, and also old brands like Exactas and other brands of cameras. So that's very lucky, and that's very, for me, I think you are in paradise because you can find in a thrift store on a flea market something like that, right?
Yeah, for me, like when I think about paradise, I think about all the people living in Tokyo or like
Well, yeah,
Wow.
Japan, where all the like really nice cameras were made. But I think it's hard to see it from the outside perspective and feel and really, realize how lucky I am to be here, where we still have a lot of secondhand cameras. I can
yeah,
go like on eBay and there's like still plenty around. And also, I could visit like Wetzlar, which is the city where Leica is produced and stuff like that. So I kind of know that I could be very grateful and happy, but sometimes you lose kind of track that it is indeed like a country that is very closely connected to a lot of like camera history.
yeah,
Yeah, it is a very lucky situation because otherwise the cameras are everywhere. Well, we think they are everywhere there. At least it's easily to get a good camera there than is here in Mexico. And also
Mm.
the supplies, the chemicals
yeah.
and all that stuff. It is a very lucky position. So um, be happy because you're very lucky and take advantage of it.
But it's good to talk to people like you who make me like realize again and again that I am in a lucky position. And I was actually wondering, how is it for you in Mexico? Is it like expensive also to shoot film there? Because I had like some viewers texting me also that sometimes like in different countries,
Yeah.
especially like I heard that it's really hard in like India or like non-European countries. And I was wondering how it is in Mexico. How is it for you?
In Mexico, I think it's kind of easy because we have United States as a neighborhood, as a neighbor.
Oh yeah.
So that's something that could help us to buy chemistry and film. But it's right now is expensive, right, Beto? Because
Yeah.
they have a big tax over that products and all the chemistry. So it's very well. Um, it's not that much money, but it's not cheaper. So
Mm.
you have to save some money to buy your film and to buy chemistry. For example,
Mm.
Beto has a film lab, so he has to import all that chemistry and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, you can because we are next to United States. We can find almost everything,
Mhm.
but it gets with the importing fees and the taxes and everything, and it gets like expensive and expensive and
Mm.
expensive,
Yeah,
and that's why I think it's because of distribution. But there are like a few labs and brands here in Mexico that are getting around, not getting around, but doing that like in big scale. So
Mhm.
they import like a lot of film and they sell it here like with not that much of a tax rise in price. But
Mhm.
It is expensive though, because
Yeah,
you only have a limited number of frames. So I mean, each roll costs. Then you have to process it. If you process your own film, it is time, chemicals, and patience, and it is a very like expensive in several ways.
yeah,
The film photography,
Hmm.
but it's something I cannot stop doing. I cannot think about going out in the street and only with a digital camera, or only with my cell phone. I mean, I don't have anything against digital photography, but I don't enjoy it that much as film
yeah.
photography. It is a
Yeah, I
completely
totally, totally
different
feel you.
process, a ritual totally different.
Yeah, I totally feel you. I couldn't agree more. And sometimes, honestly, I wish that I would shoot digital because this would save me a lot of time. This would save me a lot of money. This would make things easier. But it just doesn't feel that way. And I don't feel like, you know, my enjoyment for me, like when going out and shooting, is the most important thing. So I don't see why I should give that enjoyment up for some sort of convenience that I will get from digital. But sometimes I'm like, man, the world would be so much easier if I would just enjoy digital photography as much as I do analog photography.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recently tried it. I just set up a here in house with my dogs. I set up my lighting, and I said I'm gonna do this shooting with digital. I couldn't find myself into that process. I was like
It has no soul.
shooting, yeah, almost like empty, cold shooting without soul. And then I shoot, and I didn't like the pictures. I didn't like the lighting, so I made a few arrangements. Kind of started liking it, like the results, but then I put away the digital camera and just loaded a roll of film in the Mamiya, and shoot it with film, and seeing the pictures side by side, the, none of the digital pictures
Are good as
I
are good as
didn't, yeah, I didn't like any of them. Maybe one, but it was like a fake render, so sharp, so I don't know.
Hmm.
It was weird.
Yeah, yeah,
and
I
also,
feel you.
your dogs was very disappointed about it.
Yeah,
I should
they
say.
were like, I made them choose, and they chose film.
Yeah, I mean, wise decision, good dog,
Yeah.
very good boy. I hope you treated him well after that.
Yeah, he's here right now. Say hi.
Oh, hi. What's your name, little boy?
His name is Merlin. Merlin,
Madeline, hi. Oh my God, he's
like the
incredibly
wizard.
cute.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
And the,
so
I
slick.
have to
yeah,
I
a
have
good
to
sport.
admit that I'm a cat person, like all in, but cute dogs.
Yeah.
And then I sometimes get weak and I become a dog person for a small second.
Just a brief moment.
Yeah.
I do the same with cats. There are some. I
Me
don't
too.
usually like cats because I think cats don't like me. That's the reason. But when
Hmm.
a cat gets near, and it gets like I don't know, it starts like getting closer to me and wants to
Yeah.
be petted, then I become a cat
Yeah.
person for a second. Yeah.
That process to be accepted by the
Yeah,
cat.
you have to be accepted by the cat.
Yeah, you can. Well, for me, you can approach to the cat like a dog, because the cat is what it will be like.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? This is not the process. But yeah, I also enjoy the cats. But I am a dog person because I have too many dogs in my house, and they are like our models on this time of the
Yeah,
COVID,
with all the pandemic and then
of the
the
pandemic.
lockdown, yeah, our dogs became our models.
Yeah, actually. So Karin,
I,
yeah, you have we saw your videos, and you have a big collection of cameras, actually.
A great
So
one,
mhm.
yeah.
a great one, actually, a great one. So which of those is your favorite camera? I know that it's a hard question, but But come on.
So, which one of your dogs is your favorite dog? Answer that one
Oh,
first.
okay.
See, it hurts, right?
Yeah, it hurts. Sorry to ask.
No, I think it's like it's a hard question because every camera has like a different purpose for me, and
Yeah.
like for this kind of job, maybe this camera is my favorite, and for another one, it's like a different one. But if I try to be really honest, I know that the one camera that is just like uncomparably to all of the other cameras that I will never ever like sell in my life. It's a cliche answer, but I have to go with my Leica M6 just because I feel like if I don't think about which camera to bring, I know that I will bring this one. If it's just like for me at least personally, the best kind of all around tool for the things that I do, and it just feels like the most natural for me to pick this one up and shoot with my M6 because it's also kind of giving me the most enjoyment in the process. But like for things like portraits or stuff like that, I would probably prefer to pick like my Bronica up because it's like a different kind of process, even slower, and shooting with a mirror is different than shooting with a rangefinder. So it really depends on the type of job. But if I don't know what job it is, if I don't know what I'm going to shoot, then I will bring my M6.
So the Leica is the no-brainer. So if you have to go outside like in a rush, you just pick the M6 and get away.
It literally like lives in my camera bag, and I don't even have to pack the bag because I know it's in there, and I will be kind of settled for the day. And I think everybody has like this one camera they don't think about. They like initially know that this will be the one they will bring out, and this makes it easier as well because I don't feel like I have to choose because I know that I will just pick this one. Like apart from when I know that something else will be like more suitable, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, I don't have a Leica, but I think I would be in the same situation when I have one. That would be my favorite camera, I think. Right now is a Nikon S3. It's also a rangefinder, so I think rangefinders have that thing that
Yeah, they are special.
they are special and ready to shoot anything, like all terrain, whatever you need to shoot. They are always in the backpack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And David, which one is it for you?
For me, it's the Contax T. That it's small. It's a rangefinder, it's small with a flash, and it's very easy to carry in the single day. So for me, that's the
You
my
can
first.
fit that in your pocket even.
Yeah,
Right?
it's very small, and they had a amazing glass. So
Is
I
that
think
size glass?
yeah, size and
Yeah.
sonars. Yeah, actually. So that's my favorite. My first option to shoot in a to shoot film in, I don't know, maybe street photography actually, because it's very small and it's very um it doesn't make that big sound like I don't know, maybe the Pentax C7. There is a
Oh
monster
yeah.
and a big a big
Clonk. Yeah.
yeah, and everybody's what the fuck was that? So with the Context C is
Earthquake again? Wait.
Yeah. Okay. Well, come
oh
on.
no, don't say it. but but yeah, the context is that it's very very, I don't know, it's like camera for a spy actually. Maybe.
A secret agent.
Yeah, actually.
So, Karin, let me
By the
ask
way,
you this.
just
Yeah.
Sorry.
I saw that David, you're frozen on my screen. I don't know if it's the same for you, but I
No,
cannot see you move.
no,
Oh,
no, I see you move actually. Everything is fine. I don't know what happened, but let me go for a okay.
does it change?
Now, currently, it's black here.
Black.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Let me see.
But as long as it's not the case on your recording, it's fine. But just so you know that sometimes I cannot really anticipate if you, for example, stopped talking or if you're in the middle because I cannot see you.
okay.
Okay, let me
But
see.
can you hear us? Okay.
Yeah, I hear you
Okay.
fine, and I see you, Beto. Just currently David is black, and Now he's back, but he's frozen again.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Maybe
But it's
maybe
fine for
we.
me. Just wanted to let you know.
Okay.
okay. Don't
Okay.
worry. Don't
Perfect.
worry
Thank
about it.
you. So, Karina, I need to ask you this because you have great cameras and I mean like great cameras like a M6 and the XPan. Do you have any plans of on getting any other camera, or what is the camera that you need and don't have?
Yeah, gear, right? The
Yeah.
topic
Yeah,
that
gear.
everybody's
Or
always
maybe
fascinating about. Yeah.
maybe not need that a camera that you would love to have.
Yeah. Honestly, like right now, I'm pretty content with what I have, and I feel like my like most severe kind of camera cravings are right now fixed, and I feel like I feel very at home with the cameras that I have. And honestly, like in this moment of time, I'm actually thinking about selling more and getting rid of the cameras that I haven't used for a long time, just to have it a bit more neat and not as messy and not as complicated. But of course, like everybody, there are still cameras that I'm at least fascinated to try. And yeah, one camera I would actually love to try, and I hope that I can try it out in like 2 weeks because a friend of mine has it,
Okay.
is a Fuji GF645. It's like a rangefinder
Oh
medium
yeah.
format camera.
Mhm.
And I love my Bronica. I love the 645 format. For me, it's like honestly like a perfect kind of compromise to get into medium format without having something too heavy.
Yeah.
But sometimes I wish it would be even more compact and even more like suitable for street photography, for example. So like a
Yeah.
small, compact, lightweight, medium format camera would be really interesting. And yeah, the 645 format for me is like really appealing. But of course, I wouldn't like if I find like a Mamiya 7 at a flea market for €5. Come
Yeah.
on, of course, I would grab it. And if I would
Yeah.
ever, want to invest in a 6x7 format, I think either the Mamiya 7 or the Makina 6.7 would be interesting. But honestly, like right now, they are like very far away on the horizon, because I just feel like the camera prices are so
Oh,
inflated and
it's
so
crazy. Yeah.
crazy that I don't like really see any possibilities to buy, and not even the need. I don't see the need to buy one. It would be nice to have, but it's like not urgent, or I don't, as you said, I don't need that. That would be something I would like to have, like I want to have, but it won't happen. To be honest, it won't happen, and it's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. It's okay to have those dreams that just stay like dreams.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, that one that you told us, the Fuji. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's you want the one with rangefinder or the point and shoot medium format camera, because there are like two options.
Oh, honestly, I haven't looked too much into them. I
Yeah.
haven't compared them both. I think I know that there's like the one that has like autofocus and that you don't really focus yourself, right?
Yeah. It's
But I
like
think my friend has the one
yeah.
with a rangefinder.
That's good. That's a good option actually.
Is that the one you
Yeah, and I
have,
think I would.
David?
Yeah. I have it. I have that one, and it's amazing actually. It's the
Ooh,
lens.
nice.
The lens. It's outstanding. It's
Yeah.
yeah. You will love it, and you will buy one. I'm sure about it. Yeah.
Oh,
Dangerous territory, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't try it.
Yeah. Maybe the one thing that I saw that it's a problem with those cameras, it's the belows maybe have some light leads,
Hmm.
so you have
yeah.
to check that. It's the only thing with that cameras, because the time and maybe bad storage could damage that belows. So that's the only thing that you have to check before buy some
Yeah,
Fuji.
yeah.
Yeah, you had that, not David?
Yeah, I suffered that, and I have to buy another belows on eBay.
I was
Yeah,
Oh,
about to ask you. You replaced the
yeah, I
below,
replaced.
or repaired it?
I replaced the below because
No.
it was a pain in the ass actually. I
and
yeah.
how was it to fix it up? Was it difficult or was it okay?
it was difficult actually, yeah, but not impossible. You have to be very very patient, and you have to be very good with your hands, because some people are not good with their hands, because they got very clumsy, and I don't know,
Mm.
they don't have that patience
Mm.
to do that. So you have to be in a very beautiful Sunday. You have to be in
It is a surgery. You need to
yeah,
wear your gloves and everything.
but you will enjoy it, and you will have an amazing camera with an amazing lens, and I'm sure you will love it.
Yeah, I see. Maybe I will have to be very careful when I try it out and just
Yeah,
say that I hate it all the time just to make sure that I won't buy it in the end.
yeah, exactly. That's good.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, nice to hear that you like the camera so much and then you had so many good like experiences with it. This is honestly very encouraging because I'm looking forward to trying it out actually.
Yeah, go for it. It's an amazing camera. Actually, all the Fuji and Fujica that cameras are amazing. They have amazing lenses and amazing designs also. So go
Yeah, I
for it.
think so
Go for
too.
it.
That's the only 645 camera you have, right? Or you
Me?
have another one? Yeah.
No, it's only 645 actually. Yeah, I have the Pentagon that is 6x6, but
Mm.
no, it's the only. Let me see. Yeah, it's the only one. Well,
That's a good sign.
You
If you
had
have to check which
yeah
cameras did I have again, why
yeah
doesn't
you
my
had to
only
look you had to
645?
look to your right
well,
like
I
oh
have
yeah that's the only one.
I have the Olga, the one from Lomography, that it's also
Hmm.
six.
6x6.
Yeah, 6x6 with
Yeah.
a mask you can do,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah
yeah.
yeah yeah.
but
That's not
that
the same.
and it's not the same. Doesn't count. Karin, what we saw a lot of your work on your website, also on your videos and your Instagram feed, and we saw that you love street photography. So, what do you like the most about street photography?
Um, yeah, I think there's so many things I like about street photography. Probably if you shoot street as well, probably you can relate because I think sometimes it's difficult to explain it like to other people. Why do you like to shoot other people on the street? It's so weird. But I think the um, yeah, the unpredictability of it is what really draws me into it because there could be something out there all the time. Every time you go out, you don't know what's happening, right? And I feel like
Yeah,
it's such an interesting balance and mixture of things that you cannot calculate for because you don't know what people are going to do on the street, you don't know what's going to happen, what kind of moments you encounter, and the things that you kind of can control. Yeah, like you can control your camera, you have to act fast, you have to be like really knowing your equipment very well to be able to kind of correspond with the moments that are happening. And I really like the mixture of having to know your equipment, having to have the full control over it while having absolutely no control over what's happening on the streets. And just this is so fascinating to me. And also people are interesting and weird and
yeah,
do funny things and
yeah,
yeah, just being part of that, experiencing that, observing that, and taking photos is for me like a very like also important part of um, how we understand and analyze the times we're living in right now. So I think it also has like this voyeuristic component for me
yeah.
to observe people and see what crazy stuff they're up to.
So in Germany, it's allowed to take photos of people without their consent, or you have to, after you shoot, you have to talk with I don't know, maybe the person that you took the photo. Or how is that process? You can do it in any
Oh, it's
way.
very difficult actually,
Just
and it's a
shoot and
gray
run.
area. Sorry.
Shoot and run.
Shoot and run.
Yeah, yeah, it feels a bit like it. No, but I'm yeah, as far as I'm concerned, but I don't say that, I know all the like technical details and I don't really know all the laws, but as I understand the concept, it's like a gray area because you are
Mm.
technically allowed to take photos in public spaces. But
Yeah.
oftentimes you don't really know what a public space is. For example, a street is a public space, but if you enter, let's say, a train station, this in many cases no longer is a public space. So
Okay.
like the definition of public space is a bit difficult, and you are allowed to take photos there, but you are only allowed to publish the photos if there's like a specific amount of people in the frame, or if it is for artistic reasons.
Okay.
So for example, you cannot do, or like officially you are not allowed to take photos of people and publish them for commercial reasons. So let's say you
Yeah.
take a photo printed on a t-shirt and there's like a face of somebody on it, this would like not be legal. But
Okay.
if you do it for creative reasons, because you want to kind of capture, you know, artistic visions of the streets, you are allowed to do it. And I know that there have been like some legal cases where the artists have had won the case, because they said, you know, it's street photography, it's like a form of art. But I think it's an individual case in many cases. And like, honestly, I think when there's nobody who's suing you, I don't really see a risk, because there has to be, you know, somebody on the other side who kind of sues you. And for me, it's also like a moral question. I always kind of question
Okay.
myself, not only like legally, is it allowed or not, but do I do the morally correct thing? Do I really want to take that photo, or is this kind of disrespectful or whatever in any sense? And I, for myself, can say that I only kind of take the photos that I feel comfortable with. So at least morally, I don't think that I overstep any boundaries, you know, but of course, this is like also a topic we could discuss.
Yeah.
So this for me is the more important part, to kind of reflect on your moral, let's say, reasoning, than the kind of reasoning by law, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense because you are quite sure that the picture it is like an artistic picture, a suitable picture for everybody to watch it. So you have that like moral cover that you don't need to worry about the legal details. I mean, if it is a restricted space and you don't know it, it's like, okay, well, I won't do it again if something happens. But if
And
not,
also, you know, exactly, there's still a difference between like shooting and publishing. And if there might be in any way like a boundary I overstep, be it morally or legally, I can always go the step back and delete it from publishing, right? And also, I
yeah,
think we talk about the current time and the current kind of law system a lot. But if we look back at all the street photos that were taken, it's not about the individuals, it's not about the people that are on the image, but it's about kind of the overall message to capture the times that were, you know, that were current in that time. And I think like nobody would say, oh, we should sue, even though, you know, many of the like important photographers passed away. We should sue Joel Meyerowitz, we should sue Vivian Meyer, and this and this
Yeah.
and this, because they had like such an important impact on the history and capturing history as well, that
Yeah.
the individual face which is captured doesn't even matter, right? Because it's
yeah,
about the overall message. And if we think about like this way about past photographers, past like photography, then I think we should just do the same about current photography. It's not
yeah,
about the woman I take a photo on the streets of. And, you know, if, but it's about like documenting the current times. And this for me makes it kind of difficult to argument with law, because it is indeed just like necessary to capture the current times.
Yeah.
and yeah, super important. And with the recent events in the past years, that is, I mean, it is like artistic photography, but it's making like small pieces of history because
Exactly.
of
Yeah.
the situation we are living. I mean, worldwide, it is important to have those pictures and documents and that they are kept in history because it is capturing the actual times and this will hopefully this will never happen again and is a unique situation. So
Yeah.
yeah, it is important to shoot that.
Yeah, that's
How is it
wasn't a
in Mexico though?
yeah.
Are you allowed to like legally allowed to take photos on the street, or how is the like law situation there?
Yes, we are allowed, right, Beto?
It's not illegal. I mean,
Yeah,
you can use it commercially, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's not illegal to shoot pictures with people in it because in public spaces it is very common.
yeah.
There's tourism and everything.
Hmm.
Um, but the people sometimes get a little bit like jumpy with that.
Mm-hmm.
So and but it is different because when they see you with a film camera, it's like a different feeling. So they they
Mm-hmm.
they even get interested in what are you doing? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
take a picture of me. What camera was that? I thought film didn't exist anymore. So it is like a conversation, I don't know, opener, but uh, with digital and cell phones, they get like, whoa, what are you doing? Why are you taking a picture of
Mm-hmm.
me?
yeah,
You can do that, delete the file. So it depends.
yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
in the subway in Mexico City,
Oh yeah,
you are not allowed to take
prohibited. Yeah.
photos. Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
but you can do it well. So, well,
Mm-hmm.
I have that situation years ago that I took a photo and a policeman approached me and said that you can do that. And now I know that it's a film camera, so you can delete it. So please don't do it again. And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's maybe it's the way that you do the photo, because if you do the photo with this with aggression, or maybe to have fun with the people or something like that, that's the wrong way to do it. But if you do it with respect, with a good approach, and also if you've talked with the people before the took the photo, maybe you can have a better photo. That's I think that's the key for a very good street photography right here in Mexico. Just be very true and respectful, and I don't know. I think that respectful and true.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that's very important, like in every country, and I think that sums it up very nicely.
yeah. I think it's very similar to the situation in Germany. And the other part of street photography, when there's no people involved,
Yeah,
um, in your pictures, I have this question. Do you look for a specific mood in the lighting in your pictures, or you just like to be surprised? Because I know I know you have a trained eye because you are a painter also, and so you have like the idea specifically of what you want to see in the pictures. But do you like go around and see places and go at different times of the day to see the lighting, or you just like to be surprised and capture whatever you stumble upon?
Hmm. I think kind of a mixture of both, because like in the end, lighting is always key in whatever you do. Like photography, also like the name kind of says it already, is like painting with light. So if you don't have like good paint, if you don't have good light, there won't be a good photo, because light
yeah,
is kind of what is creating the photo. But I have to say that because I have like a full-time job and I do like different things in photography, I'm sometimes kind of constrained to the kind of time time slots that I have available. So I can like physically not always go out when the light would be the best, or when I would like to have
Oh yeah.
a specific kind of mood in the light. So sometimes I go out and I know these are not the conditions that I would want to have, but I still try to make the most out of it and not give up just because the light is maybe not um, like in the best state. And then I think is what Beto you said, the kind of surprise element comes in to make the most out of it, even though the conditions might not be ideal. And I know that a lot of people are kind of for example, angry or don't like to go out shooting when it's overcast, or if it's kind of gray and not as spectacular compared to when you have like either like really good light, like a kind of sunny day, or when you have like golden hour. And I kind of like those gray, cloudy days as well, because then I have to look for other elements than I would do when I have like a golden hour, creamy, golden
Yeah.
light, right? So I think if I can choose, I would always, go for the conditions to have the best light. But if I can't choose, I try to make the best out of it. Yeah.
So in a foggy, cloudy, rainy day, what would you use to shoot? What film stock would you use to shoot?
Probably black and white. Like
Yeah,
Oh
I'm,
yeah.
yeah.
yeah, sounds amazing.
Yeah. So
Okay, come
I
on,
think,
but
yeah, a lot of
in
people,
color, what would you use?
I don't know if I would use color. I think probably something around ISO 400, and I'm not the biggest, at least not in 35 millimeter, not the biggest Fuji like fan when it comes to the greens, for example. So I would probably
Yeah.
go for something warmer to compensate for the like grayness and to see what kind of colors come up. So I would probably go for like Kodak Ultra Max, or if I can afford it, if I'm like not cheap on that day, maybe Kodak Portra for 400. So something that kind of gives me some warmth if I
Yeah.
have like a more cool kind of feel and see what happens. But if it's overcast like 90% of the day, I shoot black and white. So
Yeah. That's a great tool to that kind of lighting and
Yeah,
contrast. Yeah. I
with a HP5, actually, I think so, right? In a Ilford film.
well, the XP5, the HP5, you'll have a ton of grays, so you can get the most of that fog.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
exactly.
So, Karin, so what would you say have the most influence in your work? Do you have any favorite photographer, any favorite also YouTuber? Because there is a lot of content creators on YouTube about film photography, and a lot of them are amazing actually. And I know maybe you have a favorite painter. I don't know which.
Painter or writer,
Yeah,
yeah.
Oof. Well, for that kind of questions, I should probably like make notes and write all the names down, because it's the same like when somebody asks you, "Hey, what's your favorite band?" and then you suddenly black out and you don't know any songs you usually listen to.
yeah,
But kind of when I try to answer the question broadly, I think, or at least what I try to portray on my channel as well, is that I kind of feel inspired by everyday life, by like people, by small situations, by pretty much everything. So it's not, and I kind of want to, just show how it really is, that I'm just like a person living in a small city in Germany, trying to do everything that's possible to stay creative and trying to experience like how you can express creatively, even though you are not, living in a big city and having like, I don't know, all the possibilities in the world, let's say, but just, try to stay on track with creativity on a daily basis. And this is also what inspires me the most. So I don't feel like, yeah, it's hard to explain, but of course, I'm very interested in arts and I go to art galleries a lot and just try to kind of fuel my creative juices by also having like input from the outside. But I don't think it's necessary. I don't think you have to have seen this, and this photographer to kind of feel the need to go out. So I just feel like it's important to separate these two. But when it comes like to creative inspirations per se, maybe we can start with the like YouTuber scene, because you mentioned that there's like a lot of people who also do like content out there, and I think this is just like amazing to have like more people getting out there and inspiring other people. And yeah, but also at the same time, I feel like it's hard to keep track and to really give everybody a chance, because there's like such a market currently that I don't have the chance to kind of see everybody's work. But if I have to like name a couple of people, I think one of the persons that kind of really blew my mind, like with all of his work, is Jim Reed. He's also known as the Quiet American on YouTube. He has like a small YouTube channel where he's also shooting film, but also making like documentary style movies. And he's
Okay.
like seriously fantastic. He's still rather small. The channel is not as big, but honestly, the quality of his work is like insane. So he has been a big inspiration for sure with his work. And I also like Samuel L. Streetlife, who is a
Oh
photographer
yeah.
from Hamburg, Germany, who does a lot of street content, but recently also started to shoot a bit more film. And of course, I love T. Hopper, that has been like on your podcast or on
Yeah.
your chat as
Tatiana.
well. She's like such a creative person and like just really, really inspiring with all the work she does. And yeah, I think this is and come on, of course, like Rainy Days, which is probably the godfather of analog photography on YouTube right now, also is a big inspiration when it comes to like thinking outside of the box and putting humor into his work, for example.
Yeah, actually. We saw a video about well, in the YouTube channel, Jason YouTube channel, and he mentioned you in one video. I think it was the one with the Leica M6 actually. So because of him, I know your work because I saw that video and then I searched for your YouTube channel and I fell in
Oh,
love with
that's
your
funny.
yeah, I fell in love with your work, and actually, I love the video "What the fuck" that you have in your YouTube channel. That's my favorite video. Also, I love the one with in the fair, and the last one with the XPan and the Cine Steel, because you had an incredible eye, and you have this creative composition that you have with this camera because you have a panoramic view. So maybe it's not an usual thing in all the camera, right? Use the panoramic view. So how do you work with panoramic views on cameras like that? Because it's not the most popular option out there.
Yeah, I think like the panoramic view is a really big challenge, and I'm like not even close to mastering it. I think I'm like
Yeah.
still right in the beginning of the kind of process to get used to it. But I think it's a very interesting challenge to really be forced to see differently and to really look out for the compositions that will work in that format. And I think, with like 2:3 or 4:5 aspect ratio, or even 6:7, you can work with things like the rule of thirds, for example, or the golden ratio and stuff like that. So there's like more or less compositional rules that you can learn and apply, which do not apply for aspect ratios like square format or panoramic format.
Yeah,
So you have to kind of come up with your own rules and your own
exactly.
kind of mindset, what will work or what will not. And I think a lot really happens through trial and error, just taking the shot, seeing did it work, did it not work, what on the composition works, what doesn't. And I think a common mistake that I also like do all the time with this format is to don't have a lot of blank space, because the format
Oh,
is so
okay.
wide. You really have to fill the space, and you have to kind of work with the width. So you have to have like elements in the center, you have to have elements in the left and right side, which means that you have more space to tell a story, but the elements have to be placed well to be able to tell the story. So
Exactly.
yeah, it's a challenge, but it's so much fun, and I feel like I learned so much just by kind of having to see differently in this wide aspect ratio.
Yeah, actually, I did that panoramic this aspect ratio with my Pentax 7. You can use
Mm-hmm.
35 millimeters film in this camera with an adapter and some mask in the viewfinder, so
Mm-hmm.
you can do that, and it's very I don't know how to say it, but for me it was the first time that I worked with panoramic vision in my
Mm-hmm.
photography, and it was very interesting and it was a challenge, all because all you said, that um, you have to fill all the spaces and you have to feel that balance in the image, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
that's a very big challenge for panoramic photography.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people think, oh, it looks so cinematic, so it must be easy to take photos on that. But I
Yeah,
think that's kind of the wrong approach to take the same photos you would take like on any other aspect ratio, just make it wider because it looks cinematic. I think this is not how it works, but you really have to
yeah,
shoot it in the way that it is a panoramic and kind of make the frame tell the story instead of, just trying to tell a story because it looks cinematic.
yeah, exactly. And also you have other videos. Well, you have one video that it's called Analog Dialog, and that you did with your friend. And
Hmm.
I searched for more of that videos, but I only found one. So the question,
Yeah.
what can you tell us about Analog Dialog? Is there more coming soon, or it was just one time video?
There is more coming, but I wouldn't say soon. So I have some videos planned. There's like some more episodes that I will record with my friends, like some of the closest people that I spend my time with, and try to open up a dialogue with them. And I have recorded some episodes, but honestly, it's also like sort of an emotional work as well, because I talked with my friends about topics that I usually wouldn't talk about. So I also have to be like in the right kind of state of mind. My friends have to be ready, and I feel like the pictures I take are usually not just on one day and then I take all the pictures, but it kind of needs to be like a whole experience. I will meet up with my friends, we will have coffee, we will have chat, and then maybe we will take some pictures. But if we don't feel like it, then we will, postpone it and continue on another day. So I don't feel like it's such a straightforward thing as with other videos where I know, come on, I have this day, I'm going to shoot it all, process, and then edit. But it's more of it has to feel right, and it has to be like the right kind of state of mind so that I feel comfortable to take pictures of my friends also in a more or less vulnerable state. So there's only one episode out for now, but I'm working on some more, but it will take some time until they will be released.
Well, that's amazing.
So
That's serious. I will look for it because I enjoy that video because it's a different format that I used to watch on YouTube about film photography, etc. So I hope you can do more. You can do more videos about it. It will be amazing.
yeah, thanks so much. Like I really appreciate the feedback, because I like, when I'm being completely honest, I'm trying to not think about like the numbers on YouTube and not trying to look at the clicks and stuff like that. But like in objective terms of YouTube, talking,
Mhm.
an episode like that, like the analog dialogue episode, does not perform well because, like in YouTube terms, it's too short, doesn't generate enough ads and stuff like that, like all the things
Mm.
that YouTube is looking for.
Yeah,
So I know that the videos that I will put out there will not perform well. But I just don't care. I just don't care because I still want to make,
good for
you
you.
know, uh, yeah, I want to make it for you. I want to make it for my friends. I want to pour my heart in it, and want to make them like as good as possible, even though I know that these are not videos that will perform well or make, the algorithm happy or whatever. But because of that, I also feel like I don't have any pressure, because I already know this video, they won't be popular, but I don't care. So I can take my time to really, put all the craft in there that I would like to have. So it's a more slow kind of it's more slow episodes, so it will take some really a lot of time for me to finish the episodes. But once they're out, I think I'm very happy with them, and I'm only putting them out when I feel like it worked out and it feels right. So this is why there's like some
Good,
months in between the episodes.
good. That's very good.
Yeah, that kind of decisions get very like strategic because of the algorithm, the views, and the numbers and everything. Most of the people that have big channels and a channel with a kind of content like yours, and you want to try another things and do different things, they open another channel, but that's too much
Hmm.
effort. That's too much work to have two channels. It is too much, but it is an option to turn around that how can I say it, like thinking about the numbers and thinking about, oh,
Yeah,
it's not gonna perform well, it's
Hmm.
gonna impact my channel in the algorithm. But it
Hmm.
is I just catch the end of it. You were talking about that more like, how can I say it, is it's more like a speakeasy kind of episode.
yeah,
But it is great. You should do that, and you shouldn't think about the numbers, and just
yeah,
do what your heart still to tell you to do.
Yeah, and I'm like standing behind this quote that you said, like all in. But I mean, I'm kind of in the lucrative position that I don't have income, or not like my main income from YouTube. All I do for YouTube is just like fun and just like my passion, and I don't rely on the numbers to be good. So I feel like I have the freedom to also continue with a series that might not perform well, but that's just like very important and emotional for me, because I know that if you are relying on that income, you cannot make the same decisions. If I would have to
Yeah.
make like good numbers and good income, I would have to cancel like a format like that. But that's what I'm kind of trying to say, is that because I'm in this position that YouTube is just like a passionate fun for me, I
yeah,
can continue with things that I'm very passionate about without having to think about economic reasons. And it's, for me, it takes the pressure out, because I have the mindset of, the algorithm will hate me, but I don't care, because I really stand behind this. I like it, and if other people like it as well, it's fine. If not, then I'm still feeling happy because I accomplished to finish this video that I envisioned to accomplish, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's very appreciated. So congratulations and thank you for your videos.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
So we are close to the last part of the interview because, believe it or not, we have one. Well, we're doing like 1 hour of interview right now. So this is the last part of the interview. It's called one photo, one phrase. Actually, it's not like a phrase, but it's maybe one anecdote, or maybe one. Um,
A little bit of story behind the
yeah,
photo.
yeah, something like that.
Hmm.
So we will show you some photos that is from your feed and your website. Maybe, I don't know. It's a surprise. So
Wow, it's a surprise. Now I'm excited. Ooh.
so let's do the first one. That is this.
It
You
feels a
just
bit like a test, like in
yeah,
school.
yeah. Sorry about it. You can see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
So this is the first photo.
Yeah, this was so I'm supposed to say something about the photo, right? Just like the
Yeah,
first thing that comes into my mind.
yeah. Or if you want to share something about it, maybe
Yeah.
Or
something happened that day. I don't know.
what you felt in that moment, why this picture, why you took this picture, whatever you want.
Yeah,
Yeah, so actually, the story behind this, I think, is not as spectacular, but I got my father's very first camera that he was shooting with as a child, and like seriously, like super random, because he knows that I'm into cameras, into photography, like for years. And I, every time I visit my parents, I talk about like to them about like some sort of photography things. And like 3 years in, he suddenly remembers that he still has like a camera that he used as a child. Like, come on, dad, you could have said this like 3 years ago. I'm crazy for cameras. Like, anyway, but so he gifted me like his camera that he used as a 10-year-old child, or like 11-year-old old child. And it's like a little box camera, very similar to a Holga, which is called Synchrodruch.
okay.
And it's a super like simple plastic camera, just like two aperture settings, just like two shutter speed settings. And I wanted to experiment with this a little bit. And this was, I think, one of the very first rolls that I shot with it, because it's so simple. You can easily make double exposures, because you have to wind the film manually and stuff like that. So I felt
Oh,
like
okay.
it's a good camera to play around with. So yeah, this is actually in the house that I'm living in right now, and it's like one of my favorite corners, where usually my cat sits on this chair. Yeah, I asked my friend to sit on the chair, then I would take a picture, and then she would go away, and I would take another picture to make like a ghost-like image.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. And I was actually really surprised about the sharpness of the lens, because I feel
Yeah.
like it looks pretty sharp for the kind of little plastic lens that it has. And yeah, it's just a very fun camera to shoot. And I can say something that hopefully won't spoil too much, but there will be more content coming with this camera in the very far future. But I'm working like secretly in the background on something with this camera.
Okay,
Okay.
great. Because that camera sounds like an Holga, but it
Mhm.
doesn't look like a Holga. It looks great.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
it would be more Holga-like. I thought it would have like more kind of artifacts and like crazy softness going on, but I think it's
Yeah,
pretty sharp.
Yeah. Well, it's
it
a
is great.
German camera, so you have to be very good
It's
built.
a Polish camera though.
Polish. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good surprise for me. Amazing. So you are from Poland, or your family are from Poland, or something like that?
Yes, my parents are from Poland, but I was born in Germany.
Okay, okay. So this is the next photo.
Oh, okay. This was shot on a trip to Hamburg, which is the one of the most famous streets in Hamburg, called the Reeperbahn, which is like the sex and drugs and prostitutes kind of quarter. A very sketchy area to be around in the dark, to be honest. So yeah, I was walking around there with my camera and just tried, because they have like a lot of neon signs and a lot of like very interesting illuminated spaces. So this was taken on the street.
Amazing. It's with
So,
Cinestill or something like that? Oh no.
Yeah, the cliche neon film, but yeah, it's Cinestill.
Well, you do it great, actually.
yeah, risky situation, but great photo.
Yeah.
Everything for the art. You have to go in there. No, but I was safe. I was there with friends. I wouldn't go there alone, to be honest. So
Yeah,
it was all
yeah.
good.
This is the next one. Also, I think with Cinestill. Yeah. I saw the glow. I saw the glow.
Yeah, this was actually in Berlin. Very similar setup as with the image before. So I shot this on my Leica M6 with Cinestill, but this one was in Berlin, and I think this was one of the very last frames on my roll that I still had to finish. And I was staying at a friend who lived like close to a barber shop. There were like just some shops around, and I was like, oh, I have 3 images left. What do I do? And just like grabbed
Okay.
some of the shots. So this was like one, okay, I'm just gonna finish it here kind of shot.
It's a good way to finish
It's
that.
a really good way to finish a roll.
Yeah.
Usually I have very bad pictures of my dog to finish a roll.
Yeah, or the mirror selfie, right? For me, it's always like mirror
yeah.
selfies.
Exactly. Yeah,
A
exactly.
classic mirror selfie to finish a roll.
Okay, this is the next one. I know for sure that this is not a Cinestill because I saw the description.
Yeah, this is actually an image that I shot in one of my videos.
Hmm?
But honestly, I can't even remember if it was on Pro 400H or if it was
Yeah.
expired Kodak Portra. One of these two for sure. Yeah, and I was shooting at the fair, and I was taking like long exposures, and I really love the effect of like one person going through the frame and just like leaving this streaky marks on the right side, because I feel like it gives like this ghostly kind of abstract feel to them. And I feel like this is something I would like to explore more in the future, to have like long exposures in like night scenes with people, because usually I shoot a lot without people in the frame, but I think with people it also has like some interesting component to it.
Yeah, actually, I love it. I love this one because that effect that I think it's a person walking by, and it looks that it's the wheel, but it's the person. I know it's like the wheel moving forward. I don't know. It's a strange. It's a strange effect.
But it's just a very lucky incident, right? Because
Yeah.
honestly, like I think photographers always sell it like, yeah, everything was conscious. I had it envisioned before, but this, totally honest, I hadn't. It was just a lucky coincidence that the person moved through the frame in the way that it kind of touched the fair attraction thing, so that it looks like the streak is coming from the fair, but it was a coincidence. But I feel like we should all also be happy and embrace those coincidences and don't sell everything as it was intentional, because oftentimes
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, just be true, and it will be more interesting because the process is it's letting you're allowing to be surprised by
Yeah,
the process.
actually, yeah,
And with long exposure, well, we see it in the next frame.
yeah,
We have to like rewire the way we see because there are too many components in motion, and there are others that are still. So you have to rethink the way you frame in those terms. It is I love long exposure. I haven't done it that much in film, but I will. I have
Mhm.
a project that it demands long exposure.
yeah,
Nice.
and
Yeah.
this one
Looking
is,
forward to it.
yeah, actually, and this one
Definitely.
is it's one from your website actually, that it's part of one project of yours, right?
Yeah, can I tell you something? Because
Yeah.
ew, it's digital. Ew, ooh,
Oh
very
no,
bad.
let me. No, no.
No, so put it away. We can look at it.
Okay,
No, just kidding.
It's
let
perfect.
me
It's
move it
great.
for like that.
No,
No, no, no.
this was because I told you that I was like living in Scandinavia, and this was when I kind of started shooting film. But when I would go to like trips, like at the very beginning when I got into film, I would like bring a digital camera just to be sure, because I knew, you know, I wouldn't come back here anytime soon. And this was, I think, around the edge when I was shooting digital, but slowly started in analog photography. So this is like a couple of years back. And I was traveling to Tromsø, which is like a city in the north of Norway, to see the northern lights and take photos of the
Mm.
northern lights.
Okay.
And I did that like with a digital camera and on a tripod in long exposures. But there were so many like accidents that happened because I accidentally triggered the shutter. Then I would like move my camera on the tripod, and then I realized, oh damn, I just took a shot. Like, oh, this was a coincidence. And this was like a behind the scenes kind of shot of the Northern Lights trip, because this is the car that I was kind of um, that was parked there as I was like setting up my camera to take a shot of the Northern Lights. And this was an accident, but I kind of really like the almost painterly feel that those kind of long exposure accidents have. So this is really what drew me to it, which is why I actually took probably just as many like accidental car photos and accidental like photos of light sources in comparison to the actual like aurora on the on the night sky.
That's it's a cool photo, and this is the last one, and I know for sure that it's on film, right?
Yeah, it's on
Yeah,
film. Man, you're good. You're digging out all those
yeah.
images I almost forgot. You're really good at this, man.
Oh, thank you.
Um, this is an image I took also of my friend Jana, who was in the Analog Dialog episode, because I was doing like a little analog workshop for my friends, because, you know, all of my friends like quickly realized that I'm kind of crazy into analog photography a little bit. And you know, I was always running around with the camera when we met, and some of my friends got interested and were like, ah, can you tell me a little bit about it? So why do you shoot film? Um, and my friends asked me if I would be down to make a little workshop for them, so they could also like experience shooting film and developing film together. So I did like 2 workshops only with friends, like no money, no costs involved, just like hanging out and having fun. Or I think they covered the film costs, but, you know, nothing besides that. We had like a lovely couple of days, took some photos, and yeah, I also took this photo when I was when we were back at my place to develop the roles, and I had like a couple of shots left, and I saw the light on like next to the window, and I asked my friend, hey, can you just, you know, pose for me, do a couple of shots so I can finish my role before we develop. And this is like one of the shots. And it's a really good memories to see this image, because it really reminds me of the workshop and how much fun we had, like just as friends going out to shoot. And I think I really want to do this again one more
Perfect,
time.
perfect.
Yeah, you should. We've been there. That our friends also just like, okay, what is it with film photography? Just and we're like, just take this camera, shoot a roll, and we'll talk later.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the best, right? Yeah. And
they
did you convince your friends? Did they go all analog, or were they still skeptical afterwards?
No,
uh,
actually, we have.
not full analog, but they got hooked. Yeah.
Yeah, they got cooked,
Nice.
and they buy camera, and some of they have a little fever of the gear acquisition syndrome. So
Yeah.
but a little, in a little portion, in a little portion. So it's good. They enjoy shooting film. That's cool.
But this is actually the way to go. If you don't have like a community around, if you don't have people around to shoot with, you just infect your friends,
Yeah.
make
Yeah,
them addicted, give them a
yeah,
film camera, and then you have your community to go out shoot, because this is
exactly.
the way
Yeah.
to go, right?
Make your own community. Yeah.
That's a plan. That's a plan.
Exactly.
That's a plan, Karin. Actually, well, Karin, this was the last photo. So the only thing to do is saying thank you very much for being our guest, for accepting this interview. We have a very good time with you, and please keep doing your videos. We will wait for more analog dialogue and more, or any video that you want to do.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Like Beto, David, thanks for having me. It was like a really, really fun experience to talk to you. And yeah, if I ever in my life come to Mexico, or if you ever in
Please.
your life make it to Germany, I think, yeah, we should stay in touch. So let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure,
We
for
can
sure.
go for tacos and shoot film in the
Oh,
streets.
Yeah,
oh,
imagine shooting a photo of your tacos on film. That's a dream. That's a dream, Karin.
I think it's perfect. Like taco in one hand, camera in the other hand. I think, this will definitely, that's a good combo.
Exactly. Well,
It is a good combo.
yeah,
Karin, thank you very much again for your time, and thank you for your work, for your YouTube channel. Please keep going and take care. Thank you again.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
thanks
think
again for having me for sure.
and think about the trip to Mexico.
All right, stay safe and talk to you soon.
Bye, Karin. Thanks.
Bye
Ciao.
bye.